Chosen one, they doubted you, whispered behind your back, and counted you out. But what they didn't see was the fire that's been building in silence, the strength that's been forming when no one was watching. This is the season where everything shifts, where your victory will speak louder than their disbelief. Stay with me until the end, because your breakthrough is closer than you think. There are moments in life when silence surrounds you, when the voices of others echo louder than your own. People doubted you, questioned your steps, whispered behind your back, and even convinced themselves that you would never rise above the weight of their disbelief. The sting of being underestimated can linger in the heart, leaving behind a quiet ache, but deep within, there is a fire that has refused to be extinguished. That fire is your proof. That fire is the reason you will soon demonstrate what few thought possible. Being underestimated, being doubted, being told you could not do it. These are not curses upon your life. They are the soil in which the strength of a chosen soul grows. You have been walking through valleys where your worth was unseen, but every step was shaping you, carving your strength, and setting the stage for a breakthrough that others will not be able to ignore. And before we dive deeper, let me ask you to hold on until the end of this message, because everything you are hearing is leading you to a turning point. Watch this until the last word, because your spirit needs this reminder of who you are becoming. Write your most sincere wishes and 787 in the comments below. It's more than a number. It's a declaration of faith and alignment. And do not forget to subscribe, because energy multiplies when we gather in this space. Each word shared, each wish written, is not just a message on a screen. It is energy flowing back to you, amplifying the blessings that are waiting for you. You have walked through moments where doors were slammed shut, not because you were unworthy, but because the wrong doors needed to stay closed. Sometimes people confuse rejection with failure, but the truth is, rejection is protection. Every person who doubted you, every voice that spoke against your dream, unknowingly became part of the story that will glorify your rise. Their disbelief will become the backdrop to your undeniable proof. When you rise, it will not just be about your victory. It will be about showing the power of resilience, faith, and divine timing. The chosen path is never the easiest, but it is the one that prepares you for what was meant to be yours all along. Think about the times you felt like giving up, the nights when the weight of silence seemed unbearable, the mornings when you questioned if your efforts were ever going to matter. But even in those moments, you did not stop. You may have paused, you may have stumbled, but you never surrendered. That persistence, even in the smallest form, is what separates the chosen from the ordinary. You are not defined by how many believed in you. You are defined by the truth that has been planted in you since the beginning, and that truth cannot be erased by disbelief. There is something sacred about rising after being overlooked. The ones who once dismissed you will be forced to pause, to watch, and to acknowledge that the seed they thought was dead is now blooming into a harvest too abundant to ignore. The very people who looked at you with doubt will become witnesses to your breakthrough. They will be left in awe, not because you sought revenge, but because you silently chose to keep moving forward. This is what makes you different. You don't need to prove them wrong with words. You will prove them wrong with results. Your actions, your persistence, your growth, these are louder than any denial they ever spoke. This is the moment your life begins to shift. The weight of disbelief has pressed you down long enough, but now the spring that was pushed deep is ready to launch upward. What was lost in the past will no longer haunt you, because what is coming will overshadow it. The universe does not waste pain. Every tear, every unanswered question, every sleepless night, it was never for nothing. They were all preparing you, aligning you, sharpening you for the very moment you are stepping into now. And the moment others thought would never arrive, the very moment they said would never belong to you, is unfolding. Every chosen soul reaches a point where silence begins to speak louder than words. That silence is not weakness, it is strategy, patience, and inner strength in disguise. When others did not believe in you, They assumed your stillness meant defeat. They thought your quiet presence was the proof of their opinions, as if your lack of response validated their doubt. But what they never realized is that silence is where transformation begins. In the unseen, away from the noise, you are gathering strength, sharpening your focus, and allowing your inner fire to grow. The world does not always see the preparation of a chosen one, because the preparation happens in the shadows, hidden from the eyes that are quick to judge. And that is why your comeback will be undeniable. It will not be born out of applause, but out of the secret strength you built when nobody was watching. The journey of proving others wrong is not about revenge, nor is it about seeking their approval. It is about becoming so aligned with your destiny that their disbelief fades into irrelevance. Many of the greatest victories are won quietly, in the moments no one ever sees. The tears wiped away at night, the whispered prayers, the repeated attempts after failure, all of these unseen battles are what make you strong enough to rise now. Those who doubted you will never understand the price you paid in silence, but they will witness the harvest of your resilience. That is the balance of life. Disbelief may linger, but truth always prevails. You have to remember that every dream you carry has its own timing. What seems delayed is not denial, it is alignment. Imagine planting a seed and expecting it to bloom overnight. That would be foolish. Seeds grow in the soil, covered in darkness, receiving no recognition for months before they push through to the light. Your life has been the same. For a long time, you were in the soil of obscurity, hidden from acknowledgement. But the roots of your strength were growing deeper, anchoring you for the weight of the breakthrough that is now on its way. The chosen ones are never meant to have quick victories. Their victories take time because they are meant to last, to echo, to inspire others long after the moment has passed. What is most powerful is this: proving them wrong will not come through shouting, anger, or desperation. It will come through the quiet unfolding of destiny. You are stepping into a season where the things you lost, the things you thought were gone forever, are beginning to return. But they will not return in the same form. They will return multiplied, stronger, more aligned with the dream you carried in your heart. This is the reward for enduring the disbelief. Those who thought your dream was foolish will now see it manifest in front of them, undeniable and radiant. It is not about them. It is about you. You are not here to convince anyone who never believed. You are here to live your truth so fully that no one can deny it. This is how chosen ones rise, not by begging to be understood, but by stepping boldly into the life they were meant to live. Each day you continue to stand. You are writing a story that disbelief cannot erase. Your proof will not be a single moment, but a journey of victories that reveal themselves step by step. When you look back, you will see that every doubt, every rejection, every silent season was a building block for what is now unfolding. The time is drawing near when the tables turn. Where once you were doubted, now you will be honored. Where once you were overlooked, now you will be sought after. And when that moment comes, you will not need to say a word, because your very life will speak louder than anything else. That is the beauty of being chosen. You do not need to fight for validation, because your destiny itself is the validation. Every story of a chosen one has a turning point, a quiet shift where the atmosphere begins to change. For so long, you may have carried the weight of being underestimated, dismissed, or even ridiculed. Yet, within that very weight was a secret strength forming. Every doubt cast against you acted like pressure against coal, and pressure against coal does not destroy, it creates diamonds. That is exactly what has been happening inside of you. The disbelief of others was not your downfall, it was your training ground. It forced you to dig deeper, to stand firmer, to search for a reason to keep moving even when no one gave you one. The truth is, chosen ones are often forced onto paths they never would have chosen if life had been easy. The silence, the rejection, the feeling of being misunderstood, it all seemed like punishment at first. But when you look closely, you realize it was guidance. Every no directed you closer to the yes that was meant for you. Every door that closed was keeping you from entering a place that would have weakened you. Every dismissal pushed you back into the sacred space where your true self could grow. Without realizing it, the disbelief of others has been your shield, keeping you away from distractions until the moment of your true rise. Now, as the shift begins, those who once overlooked you will find themselves caught off guard. They will not be able to ignore the clarity of your path anymore. They thought you were lost, but in truth you were being refined. They thought your silence was surrender, but it was preparation. And what they failed to see is that chosen ones carry within them a persistence that cannot be extinguished. That persistence is now carrying you into a moment where the things you once lost are reappearing, but in greater measure. Dreams you buried in fear are resurfacing with new strength. Opportunities that slipped away are coming back around, but this time with doors wide open. This moment is not about rushing to prove anyone wrong. It is about walking steadily into what you already know is yours. The dream has not died. It has simply been waiting for you to be ready. The loss you carried will not define you, because it is being transformed into restoration. And this restoration will not be small. It will echo through every area of your life. The ones who doubted you will not just see one victory. They will watch as victory follows you like a shadow, undeniable and constant. That is how disbelief is answered. Not with anger, not with words, but with undeniable evidence of destiny fulfilled. When you understand this, your heart shifts from bitterness to peace. You no longer feel the need to convince, because you know that your path is self-proving. Life has its own way of revealing truth, and truth has its own power to silence lies. You are entering the season where your truth will be visible, not just to you, but to everyone around you. This is why patience was necessary. This is why silence had value. Because if the breakthrough had come earlier, it would not have been complete. But now, as everything aligns, you are ready, not just for a single moment, but for a lasting transformation. There is a moment in every chosen one's journey where silence breaks. Not because you decide to shout louder, but because life itself begins to speak on your behalf. You endured nights of questioning whether the dream was even meant for you, whether the loss you carried was a sign that maybe you were forgotten. But in those quiet hours, something was growing inside you that others could not see. While they laughed, while they doubted, while they counted you out, the soil of your spirit was secretly preparing for a harvest. That harvest is now on the horizon. The most powerful victories often emerge from seasons that looked like defeat. When you look back, you will see how every trial you faced shaped you in ways that were necessary for this moment. The disbelief of others became fuel for your persistence. Their rejection pushed you into places where you could no longer rely on external validation. You had to cultivate an inner strength, an inner voice, an unshakable belief in yourself. That voice, once small and hidden, has now become a roar inside of you. It is the voice that says, "You will rise anyway." The beauty of this moment is that your rise will not simply be about you. What is coming will be so undeniable that it will serve as a light for others who are still walking in their silence, still doubting their worth, still questioning whether the dream within them is real. When they see your breakthrough, they will see proof that persistence, faith, and patience were never wasted. The disbelief of others will be silenced, and your life will speak as living evidence that destiny cannot be stopped by rejection. This is why it was necessary to walk the road you did. Without the nights of loneliness, you would not understand the depth of gratitude that is rising in you now. Without the weight of doubt, you would not have discovered the strength to carry belief alone. Without the sense of loss, you would not truly know the value of restoration. And restoration is exactly what is coming. Not partial, not temporary, but complete. What you lost is returning in ways far greater than you could have calculated. The dream is not just returning, It is multiplying. As you stand in this turning season, recognize the shift in your spirit. You are no longer trying to convince anyone. You are no longer seeking approval from those who failed to see your worth. You have stepped into the quiet confidence of knowing that what is meant for you will find its way back, stronger than before. This confidence cannot be shaken by disbelief, because it is not built on others. It is built on the undeniable truth that what was lost will be returned in the fullness of time. There comes a turning point where everything that once felt like a burden begins to transform into a blessing. You start to realize that the very things people doubted you for, the very setbacks that looked like the end, were secretly the foundation of something much greater. Those who dismissed you only saw the surface, but they never understood the depth of the process. And now, as the shift unfolds, your life is becoming a living response to every doubt, every rejection, every whispered word that said you couldn't make it. What makes this moment powerful is not just the arrival of blessings, but the undeniable truth that you are no longer the same person who walked through the valley of disbelief. You are stronger now, more focused, more resilient. You've been refined in silence, tested in ways that could have broken you. Yet here you are, still standing, still holding on to the dream. That strength is what separates you from the noise around you. While others talked, you acted. While others doubted, you prepared. While others looked away, you stayed present, waiting for the return of what you thought was gone forever. The return is never simply a replacement. It's a multiplication. What you thought you lost was not removed to destroy you. It was repositioned to return in a way that aligns with your true purpose. Imagine a seed planted in darkness. To the outside world, it looks like it has been buried and lost. But beneath the soil, something is stirring. The roots are spreading, the foundation is strengthening, and in due time, the breakthrough comes. That is your story. What was taken, what was left behind, what was overlooked is rising again, not in fragments, but in fullness. Every chosen one must face the season of not being believed in. It is part of the path, because it forces you to build your foundation on something unshakable. If your belief was dependent on their approval, it would collapse the moment doubt entered the room. But now your belief is built on experience, on endurance, on the quiet victories no one saw. That is why your victory will be undeniable. It will not need words. It will be seen, felt, and acknowledged, even by those who tried to deny it. The key now is to remain steady as the tide turns in your favor. Do not rush, do not settle, and do not let impatience distract you. What is returning is being measured in alignment with what you once dreamed, and even beyond. You are being positioned for a moment where what they thought was your ending becomes your grand introduction. The disbelief of others will fade into silence, and the story of your rise will echo louder than any doubt ever could. Every step of your journey is proof that silence does not equal defeat. In fact, the silence you carried was your shield, keeping you hidden until the right moment. Many saw your quietness as weakness, as if you had nothing left to fight for. But in truth, it was the space where you gathered strength, clarity, and focus. The disbelief of others was loud, but your inner determination was louder, even when you didn't speak it out loud. That's the paradox of being chosen. You don't always need to announce what you're building, because time itself will reveal it. Now you are standing at the edge of fulfillment, where what was dismissed is about to shine in undeniable clarity. Those dreams that seemed distant, the plans others laughed at, the visions you kept close to your heart, they are not fading, they are aligning. The universe has a way of restoring balance, of ensuring that what was unfairly taken or overlooked returns multiplied. This is why patience was necessary, even when it was painful, because in patience, the foundation was laid. And without that foundation, what is coming could never last. You must understand that being underestimated is part of the blessing. If they had believed in you from the beginning, they would have tried to claim your victory as their own. If they had supported you fully, they might have limited your growth, trying to shape you into something you weren't meant to be. Their disbelief was painful, yes, but it also preserved your authenticity. It forced you to rely on something greater, to trust the quiet guidance within you, to build without applause. And because of that, when your breakthrough arrives, it will not be mistaken as anyone else's. It will be yours, undeniable and unshakable. This is the turning point where you are no longer asking, "When will they see me?" Instead, you simply know, they will not be able to ignore me. Your presence, your work, your resilience will speak louder than explanations. The energy around you is shifting, and the same doors that once closed in your face will open, not because you begged, but because your light will demand it. What you dreamed in silence is now ready to echo into reality. And when it comes, it won't just be for you. It will ripple outwards, touching those connected to your journey. That is the beauty of a chosen one's rise. Your victory becomes a message. Your resilience becomes a map. Your return becomes an inspiration. Those who once doubted may never admit their disbelief, but deep down, they will know the truth, that they were wrong, and that you were always destined to rise. Every quiet moment of your past has been preparing you for this chapter. The doubt, the rejection, the times you were overlooked, none of it was wasted. They thought you were finished, but they never understood that silence is often the greatest preparation. In the unseen, your spirit was growing stronger, your vision was becoming sharper, and your faith was being refined. What you endured was not the end of your story. It was the beginning of the rise that no one could stop. Now the atmosphere around you is shifting. You can feel it even before you see it. Opportunities are aligning, doors are opening, and strength is flowing back into you in ways that even you did not expect. This is the season where the universe brings back what was taken, where your dreams begin to meet reality. The disbelief of others will no longer matter, because what is about to unfold in your life cannot be denied. Even those who laughed, who mocked, who thought you would never stand again, they will witness your elevation. And your elevation will not be small. It will not be hidden. It will not be something that can be brushed aside. What is coming carries weight, carries impact, carries a force that makes people stop and pay attention. The same voices that said, "It's impossible," will have no words left, because your breakthrough will be undeniable. Every moment you spent doubting yourself will be answered by a reality so bright, it outshines the shadows of the past. This is why your patience mattered. This is why the delay mattered. Every setback was simply preparing the stage for a bigger reveal. Nothing you lost was ever truly gone. It was waiting to return in a way that is multiplied and undeniable. And when it does, you will understand why it had to take time, why it had to hurt, why it had to feel like silence. Because the magnitude of your rise needed that foundation. The chosen are never ordinary, and their paths are never easy. But your journey is proof that the fire does not destroy, it refines. The disbelief of others does not define you, it positions you. And now, all the whispers of doubt are about to be silenced by the roar of your victory. What you are stepping into will not just heal your heart, it will remind the world that faith, resilience, and patience always carry the final word. And now, as everything comes full circle, you stand on the edge of the promise that once felt unreachable. The moments where you cried in silence, the nights where you questioned your worth, the days where you felt invisible, all of them are about to transform into fuel for the greatest testimony of your life. You were never forgotten, never overlooked by the higher order that has been guiding your steps. What once felt like loss will return, not as fragments, but as wholeness, multiplied in ways that even your imagination could not fully grasp. The voices of doubt that used to surround you will fade, because your victory will be too undeniable to ignore. It won't just be a personal triumph. It will be a declaration to the world that faith, resilience, and patience always prevail. The very people who once dismissed you will be witnesses to your rise, not because you needed their validation, but because the universe delights in proving that what is chosen cannot be denied. This is the moment where silence breaks into thunder, where hidden strength becomes visible glory, and where every closed door gives way to a flood of open paths. You will no longer be the one who was doubted. You will be the one who shines so brightly that your story becomes the hope for someone else walking through darkness. Carry this truth with you. You are stepping into a season where nothing you lost remains empty. Nothing you dreamed remains distant, and nothing you endured remains meaningless. Everything is weaving together into the masterpiece that has always been waiting to unfold. Stand tall, chosen one. Your victory will not just echo, it will roar across the very places that once tried to break you. And when it does, you will know with absolute certainty that every tear, every delay, every rejection was worth it. Because you were destined for this moment all along. And now, as the story reaches its destined conclusion, you stand at the threshold of everything that once felt impossibly far away. For years, you carried silence like a cloak, not because you were weak, but because the world was not ready to hear the thunder of your truth. Every unanswered prayer, every delayed promise, every mocking laugh aimed at your pain, they all forged within you a strength that no storm could dismantle. You are not stepping into this moment by accident. You are stepping into it by divine alignment, as if the universe has been conspiring all along to prepare this exact stage for your arrival. The long nights of questioning your worth will no longer echo in your spirit. Instead, they will be replaced by a deep awareness that every single tear watered the soil of the destiny now blooming before you. The times you felt invisible will become the very testimony that makes you unforgettable. The whispers that once told you, "You are not enough," will be silenced, not because they disappeared, but because your victory will drown them out with undeniable proof that you were always chosen, always destined, always carried toward this exact moment. And here lies the beauty of it all. What you lost is not simply returning as it was, but as something far greater than you imagined. The broken pieces are not coming back as shattered fragments. They are returning as a masterpiece, whole, radiant, and multiplied. Where doors once closed in your face, now gates are swinging wide open, not timidly but with force, as if nothing in creation can hold back what belongs to you. You are no longer waiting for the world to see your worth. The world is being commanded to witness it. The people who once overlooked you will not be able to deny what stands before them. Your rise will not be quiet. It will not be hidden. It will not be small. It will thunder across the very places where your name was dismissed. Those who laughed at your poverty, those who mocked your silence, those who mistook your patience for weakness, they will become unwilling spectators to a transformation so undeniable that even they will have no choice but to acknowledge the hand of destiny upon you. But this moment is not about revenge. It is not about proving them wrong for the sake of validation. This is about proving to yourself that you were never abandoned, never forgotten, and never without purpose. Their laughter was the noise of their own blindness, not the truth of your worth. Your rise is not just for you. It is for everyone who is still waiting in their own valley, wondering if the light will ever break through. When they see your story, they will believe again. When they see your strength, they will hope again. When they see your victory, they will dare to dream again. The silence you carried for so long is now breaking into a roar. Not the roar of anger, but the roar of fulfillment. This is the sound of every hidden prayer meeting its answer, every delayed promise being delivered, every dream that once felt unreachable being placed into your hands. This roar will travel further than you expect. It will echo into the lives of strangers, into generations yet unborn, into the hearts of those who thought it was too late for them. Your rise is not just a personal victory. It is a ripple that will awaken countless others. Stand tall, chosen one.